CBS 8 News live at 5.
Tonight, Russia is on heightened nuclear alert, and Ukraine's president is calling on citizens of the world to join the fight against Russia. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Steve Price.
And I'm Kirsten Holmes. Russian President Vladimir Putin made the announcement today, putting the Russian army's nuclear deterrence force on combat alert. In the meantime, President Zelensky of Ukraine has agreed to meet with Russian leaders for talks tomorrow, even as the fighting in Ukraine's cities intensifies and Russia sends in more troops and more supplies.
More than 350 Ukrainian civilians have reportedly been killed in the 4 days of fighting so far. Now, world leaders ratcheting up the financial pressure on Russia. Tom Hansen has the very latest.
This video from a suburb of Kyiv appears to show a line of Russian tanks and armored trucks bombed out and still smoking, an attempt by Ukrainians to slow Russian troops. Kyiv's mayor says his city of almost 3 million is completely surrounded, and new satellite imagery shows hundreds of Russian military vehicles only about 40 miles away. Sunday, street fighting broke out in Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, forcing a children's hospital to relocate to an underground bomb shelter. Overnight, Russian forces blew up Ukrainian airfields and fuel facilities. Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered his nuclear forces to prepare for action. Simultaneously, Russia said it was ready to enter peace talks with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky agreed, but vowed not to give up an inch of Ukraine's territory. The European Union has offered to send help.
The European Union will finance the purchase and delivery of weapons and other equipment to a country that is under attack.
Tens of thousands of Ukrainians are trying to escape, crowding onto trains, driving towards safe borders only to wait in long lines, or walking miles through the night. This Ukrainian boy teared up, explaining he and his mother left his father behind to fight. Some Ukrainian men living outside their home country are returning.
I just can't sleep calmly. I woke up and I cried.
Tensions are also high in Russia. In protests around the country, Russians chanted "No to war," and police in riot gear made arrests. In St. Petersburg and Moscow, there are long lines at ATMs following word that some Russian banks have been expelled from SWIFT, a high-security network that connects banks around the world. Tom Hansen, CBS News, New York.
Today, San Diegans once again joined the growing worldwide protests against that Russian invasion. Hundreds gathered in Balboa Park to show their solidarity with the people of Ukraine, including Sasha and Alina. They're from Russia and Ukraine. Alina's family is hunkered down in Kyiv right now.
We need the help, any help right now, and we appreciate the support of our friends, but we need more.
And we're going to hear more from Sasha and Alina, including Sasha's strong words about the leader of his former country, coming up later at 6:30 and again at 11. And for the very latest on this developing story, follow CBS 8 online, on the app, and on social media. And of course, join us right here on CBS 8 News Live at 6:30. Warmer temperatures and Santa Ana winds will blow into San Diego in the next day or so, increasing the risk of wildfires.
Yeah, the hot, dry, windy weather will be a big change from the rain we saw last week. CAL FIRE officials say they're ready to tackle any fires that may spark. They also stress there are things that you could do to help prevent flames.
When it's hot and dry out, that's not the time to be clearing around your property. Maybe to use that time to build up your evacuation plan with your family, look at some home hardening options, start pulling away some of the stuff that might be piled up against your house.
The best time to clear vegetation is when it's cooler and more humid outside.
Well, this was a perfect day to play in the snow or head to the beach, play in the sand. And really, you can do both in one day. That's
yes,
the beauty of living in San Diego, right? But your opportunity to build a snowman in the mountains may not be around too much longer.
Yeah, meteorologist Sean Stiles is here with a first look at that microclimate forecast. Hey, Sean.
Good evening, Kirsten and Steve. Yes, the opportunity to build snowmen and/or women at our local mountains is dwindling quickly because the temperatures have really been warm throughout the county, and with the sun beating down on what snow there is, if it's on a south or a westerly facing slope, I suspect that all the snow in the mountains is gone there. On the north and easterly facing slopes, that might be a different story. Currently 42 in Mount Laguna, we're at 48 in the Palomar Mountain area, 50 in Julian, and as you head towards the coastal strip, it's the low to mid 60s, downtown 65. We were talking about the potential for Santa Ana building in, and that is definitely on the way. Heaviest winds and strongest winds will be overnight into tomorrow. Right now they're just kind of floating around, but the humidity has really dried out. As you look at those humidity readings, 27% in Ramona right now, 29% in the Julian area, 9%. Wow, bone dry in Julian, even out to the coastline, 31% downtown. Taking a look at those temperatures tomorrow and into Tuesday, those will be the warmest days of the work week, both along the coast and inland. 72, 76 for you folks in the coastal strip. And then in the inland microclimates, it'll be into the mid 80s, 85 on Tuesday, and then we start to cool it back down on Wednesday. I'll tell you what's going to cause that coming up.
Governor Gavin Newsom expected to make an announcement tomorrow regarding mask requirements for California public schools.
Yeah, some parents are hoping to hear a timeline for when mask restrictions will be lifted, while others want mask requirements to remain in place for now. CBS 8's Brian White spoke with parents today about what they hope to hear from the governor.
With Governor Newsom's announcement expected Monday, we wanted to get out there and talk to some parents and see what they think about mask policy in local schools.
It seems like it's gone on for so long now. I think it's time for this to end.
We have relaxed the mask mandates for all the adults, basically, and the only people that are left are our children who are powerless.
Janet Jagoda is a retired school teacher who taught at Lakeview Elementary for 28 years. She thinks it's time for the school mask policy to end.
This is not good for children. You have to see the person's mouth to teach, especially little kids.
A lot of parents feel the same way about mask mandates for their kids in school, but others think mask requirements are a good thing.
For me, it's a good thing the kids wear a mask because you don't know who else is around, and because people, they don't know, show the symptoms for the sickness, you don't know.
Just last week, Governor Kate Brown announced that Oregon will lift their mask requirements for public schools on March 19th. And New York Governor Kate Hochul announced Sunday that their mask mandate in schools will be lifted March 2nd. But some of the higher risk counties and cities in the state of New York will be able to keep their mandates in place if they choose to. So what might we expect to see here in California?
What we think he'll do is give indicators about under certain circumstances when it might be safe to relax the indoor masking requirement.
Richard Barrera is a trustee with the San Diego Unified School District. Even if masking requirements are lifted for California schools, he hopes the state will allow for local school districts to use their own discretion with the mask mandates.
We want to be looking at community case rates, hospitalization rates in the community, but we also want to be looking at the vaccination rates in our schools.
Most of the parents we spoke with feel that masks should be optional in the classroom.
I think that if children want to wear the mask for safety reasons, they have every right to do so, but I don't think that it should be forced, that people are mandated to wear it.
I'm Brian White for CBS 8.
So we're hearing that Oregon and New York now going to reduce the requirements there. And in New York, they're saying, well, you have the opportunity to still have the masks if the situation gets tough. I think that's probably what you're going to see here in California, is that they're going to tell the kids, okay, and leave it up to each district to say, we're seeing an increase here in San Diego, let's wear it. You know, or, hey, we're great here in San Diego. Other parts of the states, they're having issues, but we're doing a good job.
Okay.
I think that's the direction we're heading. We'll see. We'll find out this week.
So you got your crystal ball? You know what the governor's going to... Have you talked to Governor Newsom this weekend?
No, I've definitely not talked to Governor Newsom
this weekend.
I have not talked to Governor Newsom.
We'll see if he talked to Governor Newsom this weekend tomorrow.
I think we're gonna hear soon enough, that's for sure. But, you know, and hey, look, even if parents want their kids to wear masks, you can still do that, right? I mean, so we'll see what happens. All right. One of San Diego's most colorful attractions is getting ready to open.
The iconic flower fields of Carlsbad are in full bloom, and they will open to the public on Tuesday. Carlsbad Ranch is home to 70 million flowers on 55 acres of rolling hills. Look at your screen right now. This is beautiful. And it's not just flowers. There's also live music, local circus and theater group performances, art exhibits, blueberry picking, and tractor wagon rides for the whole family. This sounds like a lot of fun. Tickets must be purchased online, though, before you go. Remember, buy online and then head out.
That's a big change because